Hello again, my friends on YouTube. Going back to a figure that came out of the Raspberry box. This is the 2.5-inch Shadow figure from Jakks Pacific. Another figure that I said I was going to skip out on, and because I wasn't really going to double buy all the characters. So I was going to mostly skip out on the 2.5-inch figures from this point on. However, people have said very nice things about this figure online, and apparently Raspberry wanted to hear what my opinions on it were. So let's take a quick look at the back. Let's see, Shadow the Hedgehog can control time and space or unleash a powerful explosion. Haha, that's from the Shadow the Hedgehog game. Nice to see that that's in there. And we can see the rest of what his wave had, including a 2.5-inch scale Dr. Eggman, which has articulated elbows, so making him the only figure at this scale to have them. And the first Supersonic figure, which from what I understand is the Wave 1 Sonic body cast in different colors with a new head. That's what I understand from that. Knuckles being the only full re-release figure from this wave, and Sonic with a slightly different pose. His hand is in a different expression than the other one. So, yeah, that's the story of this particular wave. Alright, so look at me destroying the collector's value of this $5 action figure. That's right, this figure retails for $5. If you spent more than that online, then the scalpers really got to you. Okay, so that is some aggressive. Oh my! I killed him! Whoa, look at that. Oh, his head is cast in white plastic? Oh, I get it. This whole assembly is white, and then it's stuck inside the black. Oh, that's a pretty unique way to make Shadow's face. I have dismantled many Sonic figures, and yeah, it's an interesting one. All right, so let's. Yeah, there we go. No harm done. Okay, so Shadow. Let's get in nice and close. He has a grimacing facial expression. He's looking a little bit off to the side. I'm not sure if that's intentional or if they misplaced the painting of one of his eyes. Although they do line up really good with the top of his brow ridge, so I think that was somewhat intentional. Like he'd be looking at you. Yeah, now he's looking straight at you. His chest floof, despite the smaller scale, it does have the detail sculpt put into it. So it's not just a painted area on his chest like the Jazzwares and oh wait, I guess Tommy did the Boom Shadow, so that counts. Jazzwares and Tommy never bothered to go into this level of detail for his chest floof. Although I feel like his body is a little bit squat. I mean, it's like a square. I mean, it's supposed to be a little bit more oblong. But then again, I did have the same issue with the Knuckles and Sonic figures, so maybe that's just what things look like when you get them in a really small scale. Hey, hold on. Sorry about that. Alright, the arms and legs are on pin discs at the shoulders and hips, just like all the figures in Wave 1, and that is... Ooh! Oh, wow, you saw me... There we go. Okay, got it backwards all the way. Can I get it forwards? Yep, there we go. You gotta be gentle with these figures straight out of the box. A lot of times their articulation's a little bit stiff, but once you get that first move out of it, then it straightens out. Yeah, everything's fine. He has peg holes in the bottom of his feet, painted gold. He is extremely well painted. Just because he's at a smaller scale does not mean that they went lazy with the paint. Unlike my Knuckles figure, he doesn't accidentally have 2 left legs, so that's a plus. And it looks like one of his hands is gesticulating, or it can be a holding thing hand. But it seems that they're sculpted so that he has a slight palms up thing when he's in idle stance. This actually reminds me of the pose he takes in Sonic Battle. Yeah, the fighting game on the Game Boy Advance where you could play as Shadow. This is the stance he would take when he was using his third move in the combo, like punch, punch, fwa. He'd do this and let out some chaos energy. Or it could be the stance he's taking when he does his chaos blast. So yeah, if you're going to position his arms in a pre-assumed pose, I guess that is a pretty iconic one that works for him using his chaos abilities. Although, I guess there is just enough, just like, because of the pin disc shoulders, you can get a little bit more out of there, but I really wish there were wrist swivels. Figures at this scale can easily have wrist swivels, so like the paint job and the additional detail sculpt in the chest floof is really showing how they're not skipping out on the details of the figures at this scale, but the fact that we lack wrist and ankle swivels kind of like, it kind of shows how they're kind of cheaping out on the engineering. So like they're making it look really good, but they're sacrificing some functionality. Like at this scale, all I'm asking for is some wrist swivels and shoe swivels. That shouldn't be too much to ask. I mean, Tomy didn't do it, but actually Tomy did do it for the classic characters, which are even smaller than this. So yeah, like Jakks could have totally done it. Although I guess maybe if they added the wrist and ankle swivels, then maybe that would have they would have had to get separate molds for those parts. So that might have upped the production cost. So instead of being a $5 figure, they would probably have to make it like a $7 or $8 figure. So I guess that's okay. It's a $5 figure, so that makes it okay if you can actually find it for $5. So yeah, that's. I mean, he's a pretty solid stander. Was afraid... Look at that, he's standing on one foot. Ha! I was afraid that, like most Shadow figures, he'd be top-heavy, but he is not. He is perfectly fine standing the way he is. And, let's give him a friend. Let's bring in my Wave 1 Sonic to compare. So, yep. There we go. He compares favorably to the Sonic figure. He's the proper height. Although, I don't know, like, let's, is it because he's black that maybe his shoulders blend in with his torso more than Sonic's arms that are a different color? Because, his torso looks like it's a little bit too broad. Like, where Sonic has an oval thing going on, Shadow has like he's like a circle compared to an oval. Or maybe they're the same shape and I'm just being thrown off by what's around them, because it could be an optical illusion. Quick comparison to his 4-inch counterpart. Let's get that out of his hand. Look, they have the gripping hand on the same side. Although this one is kind of like an open one, while this one is a solid fist. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. Yep. Yeah, and then this one, of course, he's a little bit top-heavy, because Shadows tend to be top-heavy, and that's why I was surprised the 2.5-inch one wasn't. So yeah, that's the comparison. Yeah, looks pretty decent. Like, my baby boy. Oh wait, that's not his voice. My baby boy. Father, I love you. Come here, son. Ah, yes, this is the most tender moment. Okay, so they do have different facial expressions. Like this one has the grimace, this one's just frowning. This one has his resting bitch face, and this one is angry. Those are Shadow's 2 modes. Yep, I don't think I've ever seen Shadow smile. No, I've seen him, on Sonic X, I've seen him smile menacingly. Although I don't think I've ever heard him laugh. He's never laughed. And I don't think he's ever even... I don't think I've ever seen a real smirk from him, even in the comic books, where he's had more expansion. I could be wrong about that. Anyway, someone from the unboxing video speculated that perhaps this is why this tiny gun was packaged in there. Wanted to see if Shadow could hold a tiny gun. I'm really stretching that thumb out, but kinda. I mean, his fingers can't go into the trigger guard, but yeah. He is holding a tiny gun. Alright, so that was fun. Sure, why not? Alright, so I guess that's a 2.5-inch Shadow. It's a cute little thing. If you're going for the 2.5-inch line, he will not disappoint. I do have some notes about the 2.5-inch line itself, but aside from any issues that I would have with the line as a whole, I have no negative things to say about this figure. It is fine. If you're like a kid and you can't really afford to buy the more expensive, bigger figures, then collecting the little figures is a way to go. So like if you're a collector with a lot of shelf space or something too, that's another option. He's fine. You will like him. It's good. Okay, so this has been Wakeangel2K1 and Chaos Control. That was terrible. I'm signing off.